The role of the intergovernmental levels in tackling issues of insecurity is what we're about. The role of the three-tier, what could be the efforts put together, on tackling insecurity. There have been rising scourge over that. We keep hearing about issues about banditry, of course, kidnapping, all over the states, not even living at those states away from the crucible. And the crucible has been so heated up to the point that we are asking a big question. Which way, Nigeria? Well, joining me on this very thought-provoking discussion, I have with me at my extreme where I always want to start from a volcanic personality in the person of Shadrach Dubai. Big thanks for joining, Shadrach.
Mr. Philip, it's a pleasure being here. Good morning, my viewers all.
Forgive me, I use that adjective, but I use that to remind the audience that there could be an eruption this morning. But not to worry about that. We got that tackled. Most especially, I'm the referee. I'm the sheriff. A new sheriff in town. Right. So let's also join me to discuss this as another political analyst, Osaro Dennis Oyomari. Big thanks for coming.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Philip. Good morning, fellow Nigerians. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. When we look at issues surrounding insecurity, let's take our minds back to the Northern governors and traditional rulers' statement, where they said that the mining activities in Nigeria should be suspended for 6 months. Saying that could be a causative factor, for the escalating rate of insecurity in Nigeria. They also made mention of some illegal minings taking place in the northern region, of course. That could also be tantamount to, financing terrorism, financing banditry. And also they made mention of state police, having a state policing network, which the president also, deemed fit and gave the National Assembly a nod for them to work towards that legislatively in order to bring this establishment. What do you make in all of this? And of course, the motions of the president and government of Nigeria in tackling insecurity in this direction?
For me, I like to understand the nature of the problem before we provide solutions. When you talk about mining, the elders in the north coming together to say they should stop illegal mining. I think mining is the easiest thing to checkmate because mining is done in a particular place. You go there and you arrest people doing it. It's not rocket science. People don't hide to mine. They don't hang in the skin. They don't wear marks. They are always there. So for us to say we should suspend mining, for whatever that they are taking up, mining is a part of the process. Should give us joy that we can go there and go and catch them if we believe that the bandits are engaged in local mining. It doesn't need rocket science to not say we should have to stop mining for them to not stop mining so that we will not see them again. We don't know where they are. I see many of these issues. See, I've looked at this security repeatedly. I keep saying that it is an APC. I will say it and I will give you a litany of reasons. It is the APC that owns this banditry. It's an appendage of the APC-led administration. It started when Golokebele Jonathan was in office. They used it as an instrument to kick out the PDP. El-Rufai had come out in public domain before now to say that they all brought these militias from the north, these bandits to Nigeria. They armed them. Should the case Golokebele Jonathan had lost and he had refused to leave office, they will use him to raise a level of insurrection. When they won, Buhari refused to settle them. We saw what happened in Buhari's government. How he elevated Nigerian democracy to cow-tocracy. There was not government for the cow, by the cow, and for the of the cow, by the cow, for the cow. Where cow now became the superintendent of Nigerian discourse. He was talking about Ruga. We must create a room for rural Ruga. Later, he went to grazing routes. We saw all manner of attempts to give these people land, these Fulani jihadists, land within the south and within the parts of Nigeria for them to settle and become members of the Nigerian nation state. That one passed. For me, I see it as they are not able to put a decisive end because they understand. Many of them are Islamic sympathizers and within the Nigerian APC government. First of all, you look at the resources. Nobody will go into crime if crime is not profitable. There are people who are benefiting. The bandits are benefiting. The Nigerian APC government are benefiting. I will give you the statistics. They are not my statistics. If you go to the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, they say that Golokebele Jonathan, in 5 years while he was president, he spent 679 million. 679 million to buy military weapons, guns, rifle, armor tanks to fight insurgency in the northeast. When that's the money, total money spent for the whole of 5 years.
Millions,
in millions, 679 million. Go to your MBS. Buhari came on board. Buhari for the 8 years spent a total of 260 billion.
Exactly.
Get the idea. Jonathan did not spend up to 1 billion. Buhari spent 260 billion. We left there. Tinubu came aboard. Guess how much Tinubu has spent in just these 2 years? And it's not including this second and third quarter. I'm talking of first and second quarter and 2024. Tinubu has spent 559 billion.
Inflation could be the reason for it.
No, I understand. Inflation will change 260 billion to 559 billion. If they are not making money from it, the Nigerian government should have dealt with it decisively. There's an issue of recruitment. Listen to me. There was a time Nigerian government handled Boko Haram seriously. We fought it tooth and nail. We caught people. We ought to have allowed those bandits go to jail and rot in jail. What did President Muhammadu Buhari do? He brought them out of jail and integrated them into the Nigerian military as part of an amnesty program. If you are not a sympathizer of a criminal, why will you not bring them into the Nigerian military? Because today, the Nigerian military has been totally infiltrated. The Nigerian government have been infiltrated. They are sympathizers of Boko Haram jihadists in the military and in government. As I speak to Inagumi, who is the most pronounced negotiator for bandits in Nigeria, who the DSS has not invited. The man's son was commissioned a couple of months ago into the Nigerian army. So the Nigerian rank and file Nigerian army is infiltrated by sympathizers and lovers of Boko Haram jihadists and the Nigerian APC government. Let us leave them. If you move forward to the issue of numbers, I've heard the results they came at that time. When they spoke, it angered me. They said they for us to tackle insecurity, we need to go and recruit like 5,000 more soldier men and bring the ones from the VIP who are working with police, release police on VIP. And see, Nigerian army is about 180,000 strong personnel on foot. I'm not adding the Air Force and the Navy. The army alone, about 180,000. The Nigerian police is slightly over 300,000. If you have 180,000 army, you have 300,000 police. How many are these bandits? They say the bandits are not up to 5,000. Those are not my numbers. That number came from Shehu Sani, who said that these bandits ravaging Nigeria, they are not up to 5,000. If you say they are lying, he's making a mistake. Let's call them 10,000. You have 180,000 soldiers that cannot defeat 10,000 bandits. And you now tell me that we need to go and employ some 5,000 people who have never done and never shot a gun in their life. It is no new 5,000 that will not go and fight the 10,000 army. I know see that the who are advising the president, they are foolish. I know for this number is a foolish advice to go and recruit more people to fight the army or to put in more money despite the resources we are put before. See, there's some high level of political complacency. The way and manner this whole thing is arranged, even the Nigerian army cannot and will not fight banditry in this country as long as the APC government is still in power. I have done the evaluation. If you move further from that, let's go forward to the issue of the people who are advising the president who were appointed to superintend over this issue of insecurity. From the one that just resigned, but that of course is my friend. We've met on several occasions. But the best thing the man had done in office is to resign because we have not seen any good result without fairness to him. That man, that to the Minister of State for Defense, Matawale, to the security advisor, all those persons, whether you like it or not, they were not appointed in those positions on the basis of their capacity to decisively deal with insecurity. They were appointed on the basis of political considerations. They worked for me, because that's what people appoint. They've worked for me, they supported me. Let us bring them so that they can also enjoy and be part of government. That's how they were made. They were not made if it was an opposition person that can decisively attack this Boko Haram and bring it to the end, that person will not find a way to the corridors of power. If we talk about that, the political will is not there. The presidency cannot rise up one day and say he wants to put a decisive end. You see, is it rocket science that a president is in a country where bandits are carrying arms and they are killing people? We know where they are. We know where they live. We call them for negotiation of different time. And yet the president will refuse to name the people who are involved in it if they are not his men. I wonder, do we need to beg the president to tell us who is sponsoring Boko Haram in this country? If we are really serious in the country, go and look at the last election. All those areas in Borno, those areas in Zamfara, all those local governments that are under the bandits, the control of bandits, guess what? They voted massively, and they voted for APC. It didn't reflect as though those people have been taken. People that left those Borno, that came to IDP camp in Benin, Okada, they still voted effectively. That is to say, they are still using it to further their political interest and might. The political will is not there. How do I explain that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is totally disposed against crime and criminality? When Bola Ahmed Tinubu sits in his office, just imagine, he sits in his office, and a good day, nothing is happening, and thinks of all the criminals, the drug lords, the bandits that are in prison, and begins to compile their names and say we should go and release them and bring them back to society. That's why the crime, the animals and the criminals in the society is not enough. The one we have struggled and suffered to put behind bars, hoping to get more and put it there, he will sit there in his office and think of how to bring them out. And they say, oh, they've recalculated the list that they. Okay, go and look. He went as bad as thinking of how to carry Nigerian money, charter plane, send them to UK to go and bring Ike Ekweremadu, a man that you and I know as convicted as a criminal. He wants to go and bring a cake man to come. What is the problem with him bringing criminals every single time to Nigeria? See, the problem is, for me, if it was Sheyi Tinubu that Ike Ekweremadu, that's the son of the president, that Ike Ekweremadu carried to UK, that he wanted to harvest Sheyi's organ to give to his daughter, and he was caught and apprehended. We Tinubu asked the UK government to give him Ike Ekweremadu. I'll be happy of the justice. This president has, with all respect to him, he has a very poor sense of justice. And if you do not, because democracy is anchored on justice, if you do not hold justice seriously, if you are not decisive on equity, fairness, and justice, you can't come out with anything meaningful with this government. So as we are here now, people are dying recklessly and sheepishly. Okay. And all this we see is they keep playing politics. They keep, and I keep telling you, I said, they say like start they will come out for you. I said the people that have died in banditry in their thousands. Okay. If they knew bandits will kill them, they would have all come out to protest. Maybe by now banditry would have ended. But because Nigerians are complacent, it's not me that is being killed today. It's not me that is being killed today. Everybody is not killing Google. You still see people in the APC still defending this rubbish, supporting this cluelessness. People are dying like chicken. We are not at war. They are killing generals. We are not at war. People are dying like they are catching people like children. They will go to your house. You never need to go to the bush anymore. The one they arrested in Auchi is the house they came. They shot the guy's glass, took him from the house, and took him into the bush. The Nigerian government is carrying our money that they collect from multiple taxation levy to go and pay. Okay, Shedrack. Okay, Shedrack. So for me, in terms of solution, I do not see the present APC having the capacity. What they can do, like if you ask me, in terms of solution, because it will not be nice to just talk about the problem, is that we should leave the Nigerian military alone. Leave the Nigerian police alone. The Nigerian senators should go back to the drawing board and restructure the constitution. I'm not saying state police, because police should keep doing what they do. What they do is to collect bribe, and they talk about small petition civil issues. They should create an elite group of about like 100 to 50 persons per state. That we have the license to carry AK-47, RPG, armor tank, so that this group of elites. So I'm not talking it because it's my solution. No, it's the only working solution I've seen. Okay. You go to Delta State, you see this Harrison Gashimu. Yeah. That's the guy who is leading a small group of soldier army. They are all together. They are using technology and they are fighting it. In Nigeria, we can't do it in those states because we have to go and get military. And those military are being infiltrated. So let them give every state. So that those states that want to remain as with bandits will remain. Okay, we'll come back there. We'll come back there to the solution. But let's have our reactions to the questions mimicking the topic for the day, which is on collaborative effort by intergovernmental levels in tackling insecurity. We'll look at the federal, we'll look at the state, and of course the local government. And again, you made some indictment on the president's team, saying that maybe he's ill-advised by ill persons. Again, you also went on to talk about the amount of money that was spent, on tackling insecurity by the former president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. I don't know what your comments are like reacting to what he said, Osaro.
Okay, now you see the issues of insecurity in Nigeria today. First of all, we have to be patriotic in attending to the issue of insecurity. And where I disagree with him is he's trying to politicize the issue of insecurity in Nigeria today. Now you are focusing on APC. Don't forget, the issue of Boko Haram and other insurgent group started from the year 2003, according to former President Obasanjo. So in 2003, PDP was in power. In 2014, 2013, PDP was in power. The former president, Goodluck Jonathan. And this insecurity and insurgency was already in display in Nigeria. So now that's why I have to correct that. It should not be a blame game. Okay. Rather, it should be a patriotic antecedent.
But you just apportion blame.
No, because he is trying to size insecurity in Nigeria. And that is the wrong move. For us to be able to conquer insecurity in Nigeria, just as we are witnessing today, we have to be patriotic. First of all, be patriotic rather than politicizing or throwing blame. APC did this, APC did that, APC. No, APC is not a bandit political party. Rather, APC is a progressive party that stood for Nigeria when the chief boss guest was kidnapped in 2013-2014. And after that time, the PDP was in power. You said Goodluck Jonathan spent over 600 million. They allegedly spent 600 million there. Did they get any chief boss guest back? But today you saw the rescue of the Kwara guests. The Kwara guest that was kidnapped.
Probably by ransom payment?
No, there was no ransom. There was no ransom be paid. So now when we are addressing the issue.
How do we verify that?
I'm coming, we'll get there.
We won't get there. I want you to talk about it now.
How do
you
we
said
get
there was no ransom being paid. Do you have first-hand information on that?
To the general of made a move to do the girls were being kept, and unfortunately they didn't meet some of these terrorist groups there that you have to attack them.
Okay.
So they had an opportunity to rescue them on behalf of the government. You understand? So they rescue them. Most times when you go for a rescue, you don't have to engage on this individual. You can go there luckily to get whatever what's it called? Whatever people, the victims that you went for to rescue. That's that for that. Now when you talk about insecurity, as far as human beings concerned, the issue of crime is inevitable. Just last week here, in America that has the best technology in the world, there were crimes of capital kill that some national guards were killed in America. No less in Nigeria, where our technology and our military are still coming up and referred to as world countries, third world countries rather. So now, when we are addressing the issues of insecurity in Nigeria, first of all, you see that President Tinubu and the APC government has taken drastic steps in addressing the issues of insecurity. Now, before this year, in 2015, 2014, 2013, there were shortage of armed personnel. Now, President Tinubu have come in place and said, okay, now, what we have to do, we have to increase and employ more servicemen by 50,000 staffs.
With that ideally solve the problem.
Now, on the first,
he also attacked that aspect.
No, that's what I'm talking on the first phase. Now, when you are fighting,
but we want to see what the Air Force is doing. We want to see what the armed forces are really doing. Most especially when we seem to be begging the question every time around whenever the president or political actors talk about tackling insecurity. Names were supposed to be mentioned about those who sponsor these terrorist groups.
Now, before you mention names of people who sponsor terrorism, the act of terrorism is killing. I don't know if you understand the act. That the penalty to terrorism group or sponsors to terrorism is killing. So now, before you go ahead and make mention or formal accusation before the law that these persons or these various individuals are in accordance or are in compliance to terrorism act, you first of all investigate. You don't just call me politically, because if you ask him now, he will say he's an APC member. Maybe the former minister, the former governor, they will all be an APC member.
Okay, so first of all, investigate.
When you ask an APC member, you hear the former governor of PDP, the former minister of PDP. So we don't have to be detrimental, or rather, we don't have to be in accusation.
Okay, but how long does it take? How long does it take to investigate? Because we are in this country where where even the EFCC, where all that has to do with unwrapping those who are committing laundry activities, are held to the hook. So what makes this different? Why can't also in the same measure the president or the government under President Bola Tinubu quickly investigate these persons and make mention of their names?
No.
Because this seems to be the right way to go. And again, he made mention of the aspect that, an aspect where, you de-radicalize, you in quote, those who are terrorist members, and then you bring them back to the army and making them to become fifth columnists to sabotage the efforts of the military. Do you see lack of political will, or do you see lack of tactical way out or means by this government in solving this problem of insecurity?
Now, it's a tactical way out. Now, most of the countries or leaders who have fought terrorism, they have what we call tactical key will, just as you have mentioned. Now, for you to be able to fight, you have to know the will, the tactics, the whereabouts of these people by getting their own men. In Edo State today, where we have anti-cultist group, some of the anti-cultist group members, they were ex-cult members, because with those ex-cult members, you'll be able to easily get hold of these people and know their strategy, who is sponsoring them. That was the tactical team and teams that the former president Muhammadu Buhari implemented by bringing these people closer to enable them give the Nigerian army information on how to tackle.
But the otherwise is what we are getting. Is it yielded positive results?
It has yielded positive results. You can record from the time for Buhari to just, I think that was last year, there was no incident of rampant kidnapping. That is why I'm going that most of these issues of banditry or terrorism, quote me anywhere, it is more political.
Okay, are you by this saying that such terrorist group members can be, if in quotes they are de-radicalized, they should be fed into the military? Are you by this saying that?
I just said that is why they are calling the tactical team. After a period of active role in the military, you can retire them because they have played their role in the quest of fighting Boko Haram or in the quest of fighting terrorism.
All right. Let's come back to you, Shadrach. A lot, again, we made mention of, if we take our minds back, it's been years of opposing this aspect of state policing. We've had underdevelopment, that has brought about increase in criminality and, of course, insecurity. We've had poor policing. We've also had, economic hardship. Now, the president, in his wisdom, deemed it fit to speak to the National Assembly as regards establishing state policing. I remember vividly, you have also, in one way or the other, supported this aspect in the past. So what's your thought about this development?
Yeah, I have supported state police in time past, and I've advocated for it that when something is not working, the only responsible tool to do is to change it. There's no, you can't be saying we have to. The only thing I've never supported with change in this country is democracy. Okay, so which means the president is right in taking that action? No, the president is right, but at this point in time, for solving banditry, changing to state police is not the solution, because the police cannot fight bandits. I've been in this country, I've been here for a while, and I know that the Nigerian police, I've never seen any picture of any policeman entering the bush to look for someone that was kidnapped. But that could be work in progress. No, let me explain to you. It is the Nigerian military who have been combating insurgency for Nigeria. So let us not use that guy so that say we now need state police. And even if I say we need state police, I do not mean a complete disbandment of the current city system. We will not say let the IGP leave, or this IGP will not come to zonal region will be dismantled, the commissioner of police will be appointed by the governor. All those ones who I won't subscribe to that. What I'm subscribing is that just as the federal police is there, the state should also have something similar that will be armed to the teeth, to be deployed in favor, because it is the governor that is closest to the people. The governor that the people can talk to. So, Your Excellency, we don't like what's happening. Irrespective of what's happening abroad. The idea of a governor calling the president, or the president will not talk to the IGP will not send information that is very less. So the governor can respond effectively to crime and criminality without having to go through that long hierarchy. We don't need to dismantle the police station. It should be there. As it has currently been considered, but it should create a catalog that will give the state governor the help for you to create a team of elite guard, team of security to meet peculiar challenges as it varies from state to state. That can help to close the gaps. That can help to close the gaps, because there's some state. If you look at the insecurity in Edo State, without fairness, Edo State is not in the northeast, it's not in the northwest, it's not in the north central. Edo State is in the southern part of Nigeria. But in this full south, Edo State is the most deplorable in terms of insecurity. Edo State is the most, not the most exposed, but the only reason I could give to it, when I look at the books clearly, is that Edo State is a nodal city. People coming from the north and all of those areas. So Edo State is not home to banditry. What happened is that people coming in from those border communities, that's why I say that insecurity is very hot in Okmila, because it's a border attack close to Kogi, close to the north. Hot in Auchi, in Onwa Forest. Then if you come down to the south, through the southwest area, they are entering to Ovia and all those axes. Just because it's the border axis, the border town. When Delta State was very porous, we are having some along Ologbo, Gelegele, and all those axes. It is not happening in the main town. So the problem of punishing in Edo State, they are rural. They are extreme. They are around the borders. If we're able to now create a team of elite guys, not soldier, Nigerian governor cannot control soldier. A governor in the state who became governor by virtue, I'm not describing on the Pueblo, by virtue of him wanting to meet the needs of the people. Because it's closest, he was voted for, he had made promises. I cannot, if government is all about the security and welfare, security first, and the governor cannot respond in his own might to the security challenge of the state, then the system is already designed to be broken. The government must be given adequate security apparatus. He's giving billions of naira security votes. What we heard that recently, the security vote has almost doubled and tripled. Some have got it times 6 they used to get. How can you give a man security vote with no concrete security apparatus to organize the security architecture of the state? It's a broken system. Let them amend the security to say, okay, every state governor cannot have 200 security guards. Cannot have 100 security guards that can have weapons, that can arm themselves, but they will go by this color, go by this branding, so that these can also meet. So that when we have problems, we say, call governor, Your Excellency, something is happening. Let's say we don't have to go and be calling commander or brigadier. Okay. We use his own men. That's the calculation. Okay.
I know you basically will have an appetite to delve into responding to this question I'm going to drop now. Yeah. Let's see, because you've been making mention of, you made it when we're trying to picture a governor that is proactive. You made mention of the fact that we are not talking about Senator Mondo Pueblo. Now, which governor are you talking about? Because I know you served under, the former governor, Godwin Opaseki. And again, in his time, we had catalog of criminality and, of course, insecurity. Let's not go there. So, are you saying comparatively that the administration of Governor Obaseki outweighs that of Senator Mondo Pueblo in terms of tackling insecurity?
Okay, first thing first. I don't want to be political. You know, every time I come, most of the people say, "Oh, Shera Kudugba," because you are in the opposition. Most times, I don't say these things because I'm in the opposition. Opposition don't send me here. I send myself. That's the basic truth. I buy my fuel. I come here because I believe I have a role to play as a person.
And you speak your opinion.
They are purely my opinion. Nobody calls me to say I go and say this thing to the Senate. It's my own. So even I'm saying Monopoly did not do me anything. It's not my enemy. He didn't collect my wife. He didn't collect my money. But the calculation I have on ground is this. When Governor Obaseki was there, he had put in place some infrastructure that was being used to attend to this security. We had a command and control center, which was likened to the use of international best practices and technology in combating crime. We had a few places that had camera. We had a coordinated place where you could call, even if it's fire that is burning. When you call there, I went there myself. There's a firefighter service response there, a military, the army, the civil defense. So when you call, you say there's fire, the fire guy will respond from there. We had a number 79739 and 112. Those numbers were full. So I could carry my phone and call, and I will know that I will get a response. So even if it's a police, it's armed robbery, everybody knew you could call and you would get a response. Those people were armed, they had vehicles, they have cars, they had things that they could use to respond. That was what people do outside the world. They respond. We had drones. Today, Mondo Pueblo has removed the drones. He has replaced them with Okada. First of all, no, he bought.
That's not true.
No, you have your time to react. You have your time to react.
No, the fact is, you cannot continue to disintegrate the power,
or
the interest of the government.
Let me just continue.
Yeah. Whatever you have to say, just put it.
He has removed the drones, the digital camera. He has replaced them with Okada. He said he's buying Okada for us to fight bandits in the hard-to-reach region. First of all, he bought over 300 Okada. When he came out from that Zoom investment, he now appointed another 120 Okada. Today, the Okada are shared for farmers. Maybe when the bandits are coming, they should enter the Okada and run away.
For the purpose of reaching the nook and crannies.
Yes, that's what I've told you now. I say, I've not seen any. No, Okada has not made. See, when you keep deploying resources, will you invest Okada over drone? I don't understand. Who we say we should go and buy Okada to fight out to this corner? But you see that in Okada and carry AK for something. You are suicide. It's pure rubbish. It's pure suicide. And then even if who is checking, it's better than who is carrying Okada.
Okay, we understand that's the way to go. We understand that's the way to go because even the Enugu State governor, is already doing
drones.
that.
You see, Enugu State, they have drones.
That's to secure the state and of course beyond.
Mondo Pueblo replaced those things with Charms and Okada. Let us move forward. See, aside that, Mondo Pueblo did an interview some couple of days ago in TVC. Mondo Pueblo, in his words, said that he has solved banditry problem in Edo State. That listen, he said the things we are hearing, there are many of them are social media lies and propaganda that he has done decisively. Listen to me. He said that thing when it was the video of a family, a man and a woman, a pregnant wife and a man who were captured in their house. They two AK-47 were dangling and were begging, we have 7 million, we've been able to pay 50 million. In Auchi, there's another person, another family, a man, wife, and child that were also kidnapped. Those two kidnapped are in public domain. They are asking for ransom. And Mondo Pueblo says that he has solved insecurity in Edo State. If the governor, listen to me, the governor does not know or does not acknowledge that there is insecurity, how will he solve a problem he has not met?
Well, we are about tackling insecurity, intergovernmental collaborations. That's what we have, and we're going to be taking a short break, after which I will be joining Osaro, to react and, of course, reflect on all of this. Well, intergovernmental collaboration in tackling insecurity is what we've been on the drive over, and we still have discussants with us, Shadrach Udubai, and, of course, Osaro Dennis Oyomari. Well, let's get your thoughts. He said a lot about what the governor isn't really up to in terms of tackling insecurity. I don't know what you have to say in that.
Now, Mondo Pueblo, the governor of Edo State, has done more in terms of handling the issue of insecurity in Edo State, more than what Obaseki did in 8 years. Don't forget, I just watched when he was saying, don't forget, under Obaseki watch, the party state chairman, Tony Azebemi, was kidnapped. Under Obaseki, the commissioner was kidnapped. Under Obaseki, Abrusali student was also kidnapped along Pinyao Chiru. So now, when you talk about the issue of creating a call center, you created a call center without empowering the security agency. You created a call center without empowering, giving them mobility. You created a call center without paying the Edo State vigilante corps. You placed them on a volunteer group. How can you be fighting insecurity in the state and you place them on volunteer group? Who does that?
Has that changed now?
A governor that was alleged to be paying as at then 700 million insecurity vote. What did you do? You created a call center that was involved, according to Okwegolo, that call center is under probe because they were using it to siphon security vote by doing nothing. So when you give a call to Edo State call center and said, look, there's kidnapping now, Benin, Aonchi Road. What vehicle, what apparatus will the security agency go to take decisive action? Or is there a security mate that has not been mobilized, that has not been encouraged, that you are saying should go and fight security for? That is why I said for the past 8 years under Obaseki watch, Okwegolo in 1 year has done more than what Obaseki did in 8 years in terms of. I'm coming. I'm coming. Under Okwegolo, in 1 year in office, Okwegolo has placed Edo State vigilante in the minimum wage. You can go and verify. He has placed them on the minimum wage and also placed them under Edo State healthcare insurance. So whenever you have anything that has to do with health, as far as you are working in the Edo State Security Corps, you will be treated and attended to accordingly. Then under Okwegolo increased and also recruited more than 1,400 security agencies to tackle some of these rural and urban areas in Edo State. Now, under Okwegolo was the first, I think that was May 4th or May 5th, 2025. Okwegolo approved more than 100 e-losses to give mobility.
And according to him, also replacing drones with Okada.
Now, he didn't replace drone with Okada. That's political fallacy. What Okwegolo did, you are having a drone. Will the drone go there and kill those kidnappers? You need this Okada to assess those grassroots roads and be able to capture the issues you went there to do.
Are you trying to justify the performance of the Okada over drones, over the technology?
Now, two of them were drivers, sir. Do you understand? So when like I said before, what he said was political fallacy. Okwegolo never at any time done the drone for Okada. Rather, Okwegolo is equipped more. If you go and check, what Okwegolo did was he bought digital gadgets for Edo State security agencies, both the military, the police, and the Edo State Corps. He also bought phones for them, laptops for them, and he also empowered them with good rifles and empowered them more than 300 motorcycles.
But has not acquired drones.
There's only acquired drones. Government is continuity. So if Obaseki have bought drone, why do Okwegolo have to buy another one? What you need is what was lacked. Obaseki bought drone without empowering the superior agencies to carry out their function. That was why under Obaseki watch, like I said, the party state chairman was kidnapped. So that has been clueless as the governor. And what did he do with over 600 million security votes?
Okay, but can we also say that the security architecture under Senator Mondo Okwegolo as governor of the state deploys drone to tackle insecurity in the state?
Now, I can tell you that. But before I address that, let me also remind you that under Okwegolo watch, there's also the anti-kidnapping and anti-courtesan team that has been inaugurated. They have simultaneously and critically worked by reducing the issue of courtesan in Edo State. Under the previous administration, you can't come and celebrate in Benin. I don't think me and you will be here because we'll be scared. Just as you are wearing multi-purpose cap, you can't wear that under Obaseki government.
I was here and I wore it.
And you wore? Are you sure you wore it?
I did.
Don't think you did.
I presented.
Now the truth is, you cannot recognize or rather give count of a courtesan in Edo State in terms of harsh decision making by making sure those adults of court group are being demolished and brought down them. Then as at last 2 weeks, most of the kidnappers that reside in Wonde, what's it called? Ahohazis and others, they were being apprehended. Do you understand? So the military, the police and the Edo State Security Corps, they are working hand in hand, vis-a-vis fighting the issue of kidnapping and also the issue of courtesan in Edo State. You
seem to raise praise songs for the government of the day in Edo State. Are you saying we are Uhuru yet as per tackling insecurity in the state?
No, tackling insecurity is a continuous effort. And by the grace of God, Okwegolo has just said he had no tolerance for insecurity in terms of kidnapping, courtesan, and other social crime. Okay. So by the grace of God, he just did 1 year in office. And in a couple of years, by Senator Mondo Okwegolo, you see the disaster decrease.
Okay, off camera, we were discussing, and I need to bring it to the spotlight. Off camera, we were discussing about the efforts of the Enugu state government in turning things around in the state. Okay. We may mention the fact that by the time you get close to, after you cross the Onitsha Bridge, and then get to Anambra, and then you get to Enugu, you just know that this seems not to be part of Nigeria because of the way the roads are, because of the way the security architecture there in the state. And just recently, the drone technology being deployed to cover the space and all that. Comparatively, what do you expect the government under Senator Monday Okpebholo to mimic or copy on that?
Now, Monday Okpebholo doesn't have to copy the governor of Enugu State. Okpebholo have his own blueprint and his own framework in developing Edo State. Now, some of the critical, if you look critically and you examine what Okpebholo is doing right now, he's trying to make the damage done by the previous administration before Okpebholo came into office. You know, there was no road in Saple Road, there was no road in Bini Aunchi Road, there was no road in Bini Agbo Road, there's no road in Jaro, even in front of government house.
Let's not go to roads. Let's not go to roads because we are talking about tackling insecurity.
In front of government house, the roads were dead in front of Brigadier Beach. You can't pass there when it rains. So now, when we are talking about insecurity, in a year in office, Okpebholo has recorded more than 400 arms gotten from these anti-cult groups and also through the anti-kidnapping squad. So now, when you look at this issue in a year, this is what the governor has done, and there's a better future in the next 3 years.
Okay, but the score seems to be rising as regards kidnapping in Edo State. People hardly sleep with their eyes closed. I think they sleep invariably with their 2 eyes opened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you not bothered about that?
No, of course I'm very bothered as a citizen, but I have to correct an impression. I don't know if you are familiar with all these if an 100 case is being circulated in Edo State today, 2 is true. Most of those kidnapping cases, in due respect to the victims, I'm not trying to downplay the situation that they have gone through or those who are being in captive now. But what I'm saying is that in 100 cases that in Edo State, it's just 2 or 20%. That is true.
The rest are politically motivated.
Yes, motivated to downplay the effort of the governor. Now you see.
I think after this program, both of us will go some places and verify.
In last week,
yeah,
you see there was a picture that was being displayed where they placed a man. Let me not call tribe. And they were saying in Abusali University. When you go check, you see that was an AI corrupted address. That thing never existed. And let me also tell you, because of the recent kidnapping issues that is going on, people try to politicize it, another trying because of the hate. You understand? Some people, when a governor comes into Edo State and starts building infrastructure, the opposition have been bittered. You understand? The syndrome is affecting them. Now, when you look at some of those issues, you see that those are political lies. They are not true. You understand me? They are not true. Now, the issue of kidnapping in Ekpoma, if you verify and you investigate, you see that most of those issues, some of them are true fraud, like a case that was reported. You know those fraud boys who engage in fraudulent activity, having to do with finances and all. After those engagements, people just take the video and the picture.
All right.
The next thing you hear is there was a kidnapping case in Romi, there was a kidnapping case in Ekpoma, there was a kidnapping case in Zura.
Well, this is not a phone-in program. Otherwise, I would have been tempted to deploy the phone-in. Let's get the reactions from the viewers.
The issue of content monetization is also a problem.
Okay.
People just want to post fake news and false information just to get Facebook monetization.
You're right. You're right. We can't rule away the fact that there could be some which could be politically motivated just to discredit the administration of Senator Monday Okpebholo as the governor of Edo State. Again, we can also rule out the fact that he's doing the nitty-gritty to make sure that he's able to, write his name in gold in tackling insecurity. Most especially, you talk about the aspect of cultism, which comparatively, that of the past government under Goinoga Obaseki, one can say that he's doing something relatively better. I don't know what your thoughts are like.
First of all,
as we also look at the aspect of the local government, the collaboration, and how this can be done in order to tackle insecurity.
First thing first, when people may listen, I'm not attacking what he's saying, because we have relationship. Dennis More used to. I don't want to say my boy, but politically speaking, that's what it was, and that's why he's enjoying this leverage. Because for me, as a way of personal principle, I can never attack a man who's I've said is my leader, and someone who I've taken before as a political source. Because there are things that, if another person try this thing is saying, I will take him straight to the cleaners, straight to the waste bin. Because if I choose to attack the thing he's doing now,
he's entitled to his opinion.
No, he's entitled, but there's a way you could expose it. It will not be as though you are trying to discredit his character, personality, which will not help him politically. Because we have that relationship, I will just allow his same fly. As he's talking now, I'll just close my eyes and I'm not listening. And I'll just answer your question.
Yes, objectively. That's why we are here.
But ordinary, the other person will try it. The person will leave here damaged. Let's go going forward. The issue we spoke about is your security. You see, people, everybody in a state, if you're a governor, people follow you. Not just what you are doing, but they follow you in spirit. If you go to a church, for example, Christ Embassy, because the pastor perms hair and wears suits, majority of the members in the church will perm hair and wearing suits.
You don't need to mention that name.
No, sorry, I'm just trying to.
I'm
just trying to give an illustration. If you go to Deeper Life,
just be objective. Go straight to the point.
If you go to Deeper Life, just the way the man dresses, behaves, and talks, that's how majority of the man. People mirror the spirit and intent of the leader. If Mondo Pueblo creates a security architecture today, the security architecture will not serve insecurity. Because Mondo Pueblo is not in tune to the security and welfare of the people. It will serve 2.5 million votes. Mobilizing votes for Tinubu, because that's where the mass interest, the mass desire, the mass commitment is pegged.
How do we tackle this issue of insecurity?
The issue is
at the collaborative effort of the local government.
No, the local government is a more destructive analysis in Edo State, because in the local government axis, when the Pueblo came on board and sacked all the local government chairmen who had the capacity, who were making response to security and insecurity in Edo State. Mondo Pueblo took them out. Today, those local government chairmen they brought cronies. Imagine all the local government now, we have all the vice chairmen were people who never contested the election. A vice chairman election was never anything, they didn't contest. They just handpicked somebody from the APC and put the person there, which is pure illegal. Many of those chairmen were councillors on Saturday. They were elected on Saturday night. On Sunday, they were councillors. And on Monday, they are local government chairmen. Today, it is one leader that controls the whole local government chairman in the whole of Edo South. They are not leaders, political leaders, principalities and power in different corners. They are not the ones picking their boys and cronies or local government chairmen. They are not doing anything with the money they are getting. All the money, the state is never releasing it to them. They only give them money to pay salaries, and maybe like 20 or 15 million. See, and what I'm telling you is the call to action is that Mondo Pueblo must reinstate the local government chairmen that were suspended in cahoot with the local government assembly, House of Assembly. Because those are, when you say a government is an independent body that answers to the people who elected it into office. A government does not serve a leader. A government does not serve, a state government cannot serve local government. Local government cannot serve state government. All of them will respond to the people that elected them. They will respond to their manifestos, their promises they made to the people. That's how a government is designed. When you now have a local government chairman and his ESCO who answer to the governor, just when we have a governor who tells you that the president is more popular, who thinks for the president, is interested in federal government projects and federal government roads. That is inherently a dysfunctional system. If Mondo Pueblo has chosen to destroy the state, the local government must stand. Mondo Pueblo, those courts, see, when they said they removed those people from court, they went to courts. I speak to you now about over like 10 of them have gotten declarative judgments. The one in Auchi, I read the judgment myself. The Auchi local government chairman, Zibiru Marvelous. The court said that the IGP of police should provide security to reinstate this man into office. That was a declarative judgment. Mondo Pueblo,
Mondo Pueblo stopped, did not.
Listen to me. Mondo Pueblo, you know the issue of brigandry, hooliganism, and conflict in those states. We in People's Democratic Party, we are being peaceful. We are trying to now seek other exploitative means. We are going to write it to the ICPC and the FCC to catch those people in the prison because many of them are illegal. I have said that all the vice chairmen, no vice chairman is elected again in Edo State. All of them are all cronies. Imagine how will such a man who was handpicked from the gutter by his political leader, his main local government chairman, to also pretend over as much as 500 million naira monthly. We now think of the people when the people did not vote for them. It's a rocket science.
Are you saying by this it affects or creates a vacuum in tackling insecurity at the local?
When the local government is not functional, the resources that are being put in place for local government is being used to sow Tinubu cap and play politics. They are not deploying the money to where it's supposed to be because the local government is closest to the people. Okay, mind you,
we have elections coming next year. July, if I'm not mistaken.
People, so, you know how people will die before now to July? No, do you know how people will die? Do you know how many people will die before now to July? Insecurity kills on a daily basis. That's why for me it's a very personal issue. From December to July, we should hang our faith on cluelessness and inactivity. Mondo Pueblo will obey court judgment when they tell him to give 914 million to the APC youth leader. He will obey court judgment. He will not even appeal the case, so he will carry our money and gift it to the APC chairman because a man, he will help him further his political interest. But the court judgment that restrains him from two court judgment, from usurping the local government chairman, from diverting their resources, he won't obey those ones. When this my friend keeps talking about this issue of anti-courtism, I laugh because ignorance is worrying most of us in this country. The ignorance is pervasive. In that Monday Okpebholo's anti-cultism law, it is stated there explicitly, if I'm lying, you quote me wrong, that demolition or forfeiture of property will be possible or will be done after court of competent jurisdiction has pronounced so. You must subject the case to court before you can go and carry bulldozer to destroy somebody's house. Even if the person says, yes, I'm a courtist, you also go to court. You must get a court paper or a court. Monday Okpebholo just bought 8 bulldozers, destroy people's house recklessly because he feels he has a hammer, he has a gavel. Monday Okpebholo is not a policeman. He will catch a boy. There are rumors everywhere. See, there was a time I spoke to one of the aides governors. He said Monday Okpebholo is not against
in 30
courtism.
seconds, your final comment so that we can go over your reaction.
In summer, I said when I spoke to one of these, we call him Pastor Kasi Chuku. He's an SSA to the governor. So I call Pastor Kasi. I went to his live program when I heard that he was insulting me. When we discussed, he said Monday Okpebholo, and I quote, is not against courtism. Monday Okpebholo is not against courtists. Monday Okpebholo is only against the practice. I told him that there are many more courtists in Monday Okpebholo's government than we have outside government. And he said Monday Okpebholo is not against courtists, he's against courtism. And I thought it was a foolish thing said by an SSA.
Okay,
believing that the man does not have
reaction.
believe that the man does not have the better capacity to represent government. Okay. But what I'm saying now, I believe that it's clear that Monday Okpebholo is only against the courtists outside power and the courtists, and he knows courtists with eyeball.
Thank you, Shedrack. Let's get your reaction.
Now, first of all, let me address an issue. I respect.
You have 2 minutes to do that.
Yes, of course, I respect and we have a very good relationship. But I feel we don't have to be emotional. Rather, we should be focused on the subject of discourse. Now, quickly, in the issue of insecurity in local government, now you can quote me. You can quote me even when I was working.
Okay, I'll come back to you. We'll take a short break. I'll come back to you. To stay. It's been an interesting conversation, but let's get your reactions in 1 minute, Osaro.
Now, when you talk about the issue of local government, the issue of insecurity in local government, first of all, you have to look at what Governor Senator Monday Okpebholo has done so far. Now, in terms of Oredo, even when I was seeing the CPS of Monday local government, I can tell you, once in every month, the local government council chairman and other senior civil servants holds security meeting once in every month in order to checkmate their vicinity, the total security or insecurity issues in that local government. And also, most of these DPOs and security agencies that reside, including the DSS, that reside in each local government, they are being provided these materials financially in terms of tackling insecurity in local government. Now, quickly, when you talk about the issue of local government, how the council chairman was dealing with, don't forget, Senator Monday Okpebholo petitioned them in terms of financial misappropriation.
Thank you, Osaro Dennis.
Thank you, Osaro Dennis. For the financial court case of the opposition.
Okay, thank you, Osaro Dennis. Big thanks to Shedrack Odubai. Well, this we'll call it a wrap from the Benin Network Center. We now.